Today, the crypto markets are experiencing yet again more volatility. Coin is back below 9 cents right now. Are we falling down to 7 cents in the short term? What's going on here with the bigger trend in crypto? Something we need to discuss here. On top of some big news stories that are breaking right now that you need to be aware of. I also, in this video for CRO, want to talk about some predictions that are being looked at out into 2030 that are actually much lower than you might expect. Is there validity to these very low price predictions for CRO into the future? Are we not going to see this coin pop off? This is something that I know a lot of people that are holding this coin are wondering right now. Is it's been a very difficult time for altcoins in general, but certainly CRO as well. And it's probably frustrating, right? Because there's so many positive news stories that are coming out where crypto.com is tapping into the BlackRock Build Fund, and this is going to get adopted. There's an ETF with the president that's getting approved. They're launching credit cards. There's all these great stories. They're getting approval for regulatory approval over here and over there, but the price still isn't going up. So let's talk about these future prices as some others are predicting. And I'm more bullish than bearish. But in the short term, there are some lower prices to look out for because of some of the news we're seeing. I'm not a financial advisor, guys. Nothing here is financial advice, but let's talk a little bit about what's going on. Here's CRO today, currently sitting at 8.9 cents, down just slightly on the day, down 0.32%. But the broader market is slipping right now. Let's go ahead and actually refresh this, make sure these are current prices, okay? And you'll see that Bitcoin is down 2% in the last hour, back down to 104, maybe coming down to the $100,000 price level that we've been talking about. Well, a couple coins are up today, just Kaya and SEI really, and one or two others. Most coins are down a little bit today, and really starting to slip right now. Just over the last hour, look at this. They were pumping this morning, and now they're kind of starting to come down just over the last hour, and that's kind of what I'm looking at the time of this recording. Why are things stumbling a little bit? Well, stocks are wavering and crypto's wavering as there's more conversations going on about rate cuts. I also saw the story that there are going to be cuts coming to the Fed staff pay. This is coming as an inclusion somehow to the Trump tax bill. As I'm looking at this story, it looks like kind of what it is. And why do we talk so much about Fed rate cuts? Well, we're still not looking to have one really in July. It's being talked about, but the odds are at 85% chance that there's no rate cut in July. And we might not even have one in September or October, though the odds would suggest that we should have one by September, October, or December. Still on track for possibly two. Well, half of the group that decides this, kind of says maybe no rate cuts. So it is a very uncertain time for that. On top of that, you also have the conflict in the Middle East happening right now, though it is good to see that the president is kind of putting off a decision to actually go and launch our own attacks on that country and get involved directly in the conflict. You would think that would be positive. However, the S&P is coming down today, and so is crypto. So we were pumping earlier, but now we're kind of slipping back down. I think the biggest thing that the markets are looking at are the rate cuts. Let's talk about some future predictions for CRO. And if you guys want to trade that, look at this crazy volatility. This is this morning, a little bit of chop, and then boom, a fall down. I'm not currently in a position. Wish I had caught the trade here on Bitcoin. I haven't been paying attention myself to these as much lately, but over the last month, I have had a lot of successful trades. And if you guys want to do some trading as well on this crazy volatility, great opportunities for shorts and for longs, you can sign up for Blowfin and use the link down below. Looking at the long term, we'll get to the short term for CRO here in a second, but looking at the long term, there's this platform that a lot of people like to look at. It's called Coin Codex. And I know a lot of people for their meme coins and for some of the top altcoins like to look at these potential predictions. Well, they're putting out predictions into 2026, into 2030, and just take a look at what these predictions are. In 2025, by December, they're saying max price, 20 cents. If you go to 2030, their max price for CRO by 2030 is only 21 cents. How could it possibly be this bearish? Are we not going to see CRO coin breach 20 cents by 2030? I adamantly disagree with this. There's so many positive things happening for Cronos and crypto.com. Recently, we saw just this morning, 8 hours ago, a 10x reduction in base gas fees, 10x cheaper transactions, and 10x more reasons to build, 10x more speed as well is coming with this new Cronos upgrade that is coming in the pipeline here. And I want to remind everybody that when it comes to the Cronos token, it's the gas utility coin for the Cronos chain, and also something you need to stake for their credit cards, for their Visa cards. There's a lot of utility for CRO. But you still haven't seen the Cronos chain pop off yet. As this continues to get better, now there's 10x more reasons to build. The more building, the more activity, the more fees that are being collected on Cronos, the more developers come, the more people come, and it's kind of a compounding factor. So you're going to want to see more adoption on Cronos chain. And in the long run, that's kind of what I look towards, guys. That's what I look towards. And I don't really think these are good predictions from Codex. You know what I think they're doing here with this is they've probably got some kind of algorithm that tracks the recent price action. And we've had a little bit of lackluster in the price recently. But all of a sudden, if you get CRO to pop off, these predictions are going to change very quickly. I believe that the dollar is extremely achievable for Cronos, even with the 70 billion token unburned that we were all so upset about recently. But that's kind of where my head's at for the long term. I don't like these predictions. I'm much more bullish than whatever math equation this coin codex is using to predict the future price of CRO. Looking at what's going on right now for the actual charts for CRO, let's pull that up for you. If you do look at CRO, we are right now sitting very close to this level of support. I still think we can hold the support. Of course, if Bitcoin slips below $100,000, and this was a really big fall off randomly this morning, maybe we're going to get a bounce here, but if Bitcoin falls back down below this $99,000 or $100,000 price level, you could easily see CRO coin slip back down to maybe, this wick over here at this weekly candle close back at 7 cents. You might even see a 6-cent CRO again. Why is that? Why are altcoins struggling? Why is CRO coin struggling right now despite all the positive news? Well, because there's negative news in the macro side of things. On the global stage, there's negative news. And when it comes to the Fed and rate cuts, which is historically what you need to see Bitcoin dominance top out and a rally for risk on assets, we're not really looking for an immediate pump for CRO right now, unfortunately. I don't believe those price predictions from Coin Codex. I think they're way too bearish going out in 2030. You've got an ETF that's going to be, more ETFs for CRO coming. There's not even an altcoin season yet. Once we get the altcoin season and Bitcoin dominance falls off, and I do think it will fall off again, maybe it won't be as significant as a dip, right? Now institutions are here. Maybe that's going to prop up Bitcoin more so than ever before. That's an argument people are making, and I can kind of get behind that. But I still think there's going to be an altcoin season, and Bitcoin will lose some dominance, a significant portion of dominance, and you will see altcoins rally. Why? Because people like to speculate, people like to make money, and people like to trade altcoins. And I think that there's more of an appetite for Bitcoin right now, but when things start rallying and you do see rate cuts and risk on assets rally in the stock market and Bitcoin starts rallying and people are more interested in altcoins, you're going to see Bitcoin dominance drop off, altcoins rally in a very big way. And I think you can see that $1 CRO coin. As long as this bull market is still here, and I do believe that it is, it's getting postponed because of some of the global conflicts and the conversation around inflation and tariffs. As long as this bull market's still here, I think that we can hit that dollar for CRO. That's all I got in this one, guys. If you do want to trade on your own, you can sign up for Blowfin using the link in the description down below, up to a $5,000 deposit bonus. And you sign up using our link if you want to check that out. Smash a like, subscribe to the channel, DCI HODL. My friends, I'll see you in the next one. I got 2 videos right here if you want to check them out. Until next time, guys, peace.